What's going on, guys? It's your boy LQ, Mr. Real Deal Fantasy HQ, and welcome to the RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. And today I'm going to be talking about Atlanta Falcon tight end one, Jonnu Smith. I'm not quite sure why he's still available on the waiver wire for you, but I'm going to be explaining why you should be picking him up right now. So I don't want to waste any more time, so let's get right into the episode. Now, I feel like I should have made this video probably 3 weeks ago, but it's better late than never. But it's only crazy to me because the guy's just been able to put up big points, big games and stuff like that. Like, he has had up and down weeks, but I like a guy that has home run ability, and that's Jonnu Smith, man. I mean, we saw last week on that screen where he has the breakout ability to just sprint upfield, miss tackles. He's actually third among tight ends right now in forced missed tackles. So the yards after a catch is what's important to me, especially with an athletic tight end like him. He's actually top 5 among tight ends right now in yards after the catch. So Kyle Pitts is still there. Obviously, he's the guy that we want to be the guy as a tight end one, but the way it's looking, man, it's honestly leaning towards Jonnu Smith, being that he has the previous history with Arthur Smith in Tennessee. So this is kind of like a plug and play. They actually traded for him as well, so they kind of already indicated like he's going to be involved in this offense as much as possible. This guy's getting goal line carries. He has the same amount of goal line carries as Bijan Robinson. Yes, that is crazy, complete nasty work. But you're looking at this situation of like, I understand why he has a 40% rostership on Yahoo and then 43% rostership on Sleeper. So there's a weird thing where it's like he keeps having these big games, but nobody's picking him up. Like, he's having these exploding games, but they're most likely happening on the waiver wire. They're not on your roster. I'd rather these games be happening on my bench rather than him out there for free for somebody else to pick up when you can make that move now. You got TJ Hockenson dealing with an injury right now. He's banged up with a rib injury. Travis Kelce's on bye this week. And you also have Dallas Goedert that's going to be missing a month of football. So you got to be looking at some of these tight ends once the fantasy playoffs start gearing up, or if you're trying to compete to even get that last seed. So Jonnu Smith, man, we know he's an explosive player. He has the big playability. He's a big body tight end that has huge red zone presence as well. I mean, like I said, the floor is low with Jonnu Smith, but when he actually hits and the ceiling is high, man, he has these really big games, especially a tight end premium. I mean, I've been starting him since week 4, since that London game where he had the breakout game, and I kind of just been getting lucky and just putting him into my flex with my elite tight end one, but he's gaining some momentum now. He's honestly just clicking in this offense with Taylor Heineke, or if it was Desmond Ridder, it doesn't matter. I think what's happening with Kyle Pitts is like most of his targets, yes, he has more volume, he has more targets, but I just don't think these targets are catchable for him. Maybe it's a timing thing, a chemistry thing, a QB change thing. Whatever the case may be, it's not happening for Kyle Pitts. So Jonnu Smith having a 40% rostership to me is still crazy. I could rattle off a bunch of stats that he's killing it in right now, but that's not the important point. I want him to be a guy that you have on your roster ready to go. This isn't saying plug and play him and start him for the rest of the season like a Dalton Kincaid. No, this is just getting your roster more equipped and more molded to have guys that are ready to show up and show out when their name is called. You got to get the zombies off your bench, man. I mean, honestly, maybe the zombie, you get off your bench, turns up to be cured and ends up being a Jahan Dotson, but there's no consistency there. But I'm just saying, get rid of the zombies that aren't doing anything, that don't have opportunity. They're not getting on the field. They're not producing when they are on the field. It's time to gear up for some players that are actually going to show up and show out, because honestly, if you're still on the Kyle Pitts side, you got to look at it. Who's the more effective player in this situation? I mean, Jonnu Smith is averaging more receptions per game than him, more receiving yards than him. He has more touchdowns than him. He has a 100-yard game under his belt. Kyle Pitts doesn't have any of those things right now under his belt where he is better than Jonnu Smith in this point. I know it's nasty work out there, but the waiver wire is very, very slim to none that you're going to hit on a productive guy or a guy that even has the opportunity to put up the points that Jonnu Smith has done. And again, you got to look at who's being more effective as well. Kyle Pitts' catch rate is at 61% versus Jonnu Smith that's at 81%. You got to look at who's the more reliable target here. And like I said, Kyle Pitts has more volume, but he's not producing with that volume. Don't know what it is. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if he knows the playbook or if he just doesn't get the scheme. Maybe Arthur Smith is trolling him. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm telling you now to stop what you're doing. Go pick up Jonnu Smith. Put him on your roster. Not saying to start him this week and not saying to start him next week, but you want to watch the production for the next couple weeks to see if he's actually going into this mold to where he'll have a higher snap percentage, where that target share seems to increase, where Kyle Pitts is kind of in the background. This is a guy that I want on my roster to be ready to go when I call upon him. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's get these numbers up to 20K for the RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me. And you guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.